Welcome to Lovely Cooks Delicious Eats. My name is Nadia, and we're going to be making lasagna today. Okay, let's walk through the ingredients. I have primo, thick and zesty, garlic and herb, tomato paste, basil, oregano, Italian seasoning, black pepper, my oven-ready lasagna noodles. This is just a vegetable mix blend, parsley, salt, and in this bowl I have ground chicken that has been washed and seasoned with green seasoning, garlic, and a little bit of ginger. We have some mushroom here. And in this bowl, I have red onion, yellow onion, garlic, carrot, celery, and green pepper that I blended up in the food processor. And I have a little bit of canned tomatoes here. What I need is cheese of your choice. My choice is going to be marble for the inner of my lasagna. And I am going to have a mozzarella to the top. Cottage cheese that I am going to mix with 2 eggs. What we're going to do is we're going to, in one big pot, we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to brown the meat, cook it fully through. You're going to notice that when you're cooking it, it's going to release its own liquid. You want to make sure that you burn that liquid out or remove it. So it's been cooking for about 3 minutes. And this is the liquid that I was referring to. You want to make sure that this evaporates, or you can empty it out yourself into a little bowl and then discard it. Dry seasonings to the ground meat. So we're going to go in, and I cook like my mom does. I just do a sprinkle, but to start you probably want to do like a tablespoon and adjust to your liking. So that was oregano. I'm going to go in with Italian seasoning, which is new, so it's not been opened. Just going to open it. I'm going to do a sprinkle of Italian seasoning. I'm going to go in with some black pepper. Black pepper, you may want to start off with a half a teaspoon. Now this is the vegetable seasoning. Parsley, a little sprinkle of basil, and salt to taste. You can always adjust your salt to more if you like. Then you want to just give it a mix. So if you want to just come closer and have a look at the meat, this is what we're working with, all nicely seasoned. So now I'm going to want to go in with my mixture of carrot, celery, red, green onion, and garlic. As well as adding in my mushroom at this time. And then you're going to want to mix it together. Currently my stove is on high, but I'm going to reduce the heat now because I want this to cook through a little bit. And I'm going to reduce my heat to just before medium. And I'm going to let it cook for about 5 minutes together and before I add in my tomatoes and my sauce. And I am going to cover it. So if you want to just have a look at the pot currently, this is what it's looking like. I am going to cover it, let it cook together for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back and add my tomatoes and my sauce. So this is what it looks like now that it's cooked together. This is what it's looking like. So now I'm going to go in with my canned tomatoes I have here. I'm going to add that in. The longer you let your sauce cook, the better it's going to taste. I'm going to add in my sauce of choice, which is Primo. Now, most people may not add the rest of the sauce that's in here. I am going to add a little bit of water to this. Just shake it up so that I can get all the sauce. Okay, so that's just the water I'm going to add now. That's why I am adding in tomato paste. You are going to want this to come together and cook together so that it can become thick again. Put that away. And I am going to do a tablespoon of tomato paste. This will help with the thickening of your sauce. And I do add sugar to my sauce. Sugar actually helps me with not getting heartburn from the tomatoes and the sauce. So I'm going to add that in there and mix everything together. Now you can go in and add more dry seasonings like your Italian seasoning and your parsley and oregano. You're going to want to top it up. I would say add a half of a teaspoon back to the sauce now because I'm going to leave it and let it cook together. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. I like my sauce to be really flavored, so I'm just going to add some more into the sauce. And give it a mix. So now I'm going to let my sauce cook. Probably I'm going to say for half an hour, come together on medium and just cook. You're going to taste for salt, and then we're going to come back when we're putting everything together. So it has been cooking together. I do want it a little bit runny just because I'm using it for my lasagna. So this is what we're looking like so far. I have tasted for salt and it's perfect. Okay, so in this bowl, I right now have 1 egg. I am going to add another 2. And I'm going to take 1 container of cottage cheese. And in that bowl, I am going to add the Italian seasoning and parsley. Now we're going to mix this together. You may say, well, there's whole chunks of eggs in there. That's okay. It's going to incorporate. We're going to mix this together. This is going to be an additional layer in our lasagna, along with our sauce and our cheese. You just want to make sure that you do get the egg mixed well with the cottage cheese. So you see now everything has come together nicely. So this is our sauce. It's been cooking now for good, probably let's say an hour. It's been cooking together. There's enough liquid in here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. This is the right texture that I want my sauce to be. I have tested to make sure that it has enough salt and it is good to go. So I am just gonna turn the stove off and I'm gonna get ready. Okay, so now we're gonna do our layers. So I'm gonna start off by adding my sauce to the very bottom of your pan. This is going to help to prevent your noodles from sticking, which you don't want. So I do have that there. That's enough sauce for me. I am going to put my noodles on the bottom. So now on top of this layer, I'm going to add the first layer being sauce. Use your spoon to spread everything out. Then I'm going to go in with my cottage cheese mix that I showed you guys how to make. You're just going to want to drop it. This is going to add extra cheesiness. Like that. And then we're going to go in. It's up to your discretion. Then I'm going to continue through, and I am going to continue that same process. Okay, so now we're on our last layer. This being the top layer, I find that it's probably best that you do not put so much sauce as you would within the lasagna. All right, so that's the sauce we're going to use for the lasagna. If you were using noodles that were still raw, you would want to make sure that you have enough sauce to cover your noodles so that it still cooks it. So again, I'm just going to drizzle my mix with cottage cheese all over the top of my lasagna. I'm going to add the rest of the marble just to drizzle on the top because I'm going to go in with my mozzarella. Okay, so now I'm going in with mozzarella. If you use mozzarella on the very top, it's going to give you that nice cheesy goodness that's going to melt. And you can also, if you want, you can do Parmesan cheese. You can sprinkle it on the top for added extra flavor. Thank you, cameraman. If you live in Canada, you can get Parmesan cheese for a really good price at Freshco. So, I like my lasagna top to be very cheesy. The more cheese, the better. Then I'm going to go in with my Parmesan cheese. Just going to go into this drawer here. And what you want to do is you want to just drizzle it as you would on your pasta. Making sure that you get it evenly throughout your lasagna. Now, I do have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And I am going to foil it down. If you want to just take your hands over the top of your lasagna, make sure you press down that cheese so it does not stick to your foil paper, because I am going to cover this with foil and I'm going to let it bake. Because I boiled my noodles, I am only going to let it bake for 30 minutes in the oven under 350 degrees, and then I'm going to take off the foil and I'm going to let it bake for another additional 10 minutes so that it gets that nice crispy golden color on the top of my lasagna. So we'll see you guys back in a little when it's all done. Okay guys, it's done. This is what it's looking like. I hope you guys try this out because you won't be disappointed. Wow, we're at the ending of the video. And before I say anything else, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I have to say, for my very first video, wow, it's a lot of work. Kudos to everybody who produces video on YouTube. It's a lot of work, guys. It takes a lot of courage. It is really hard to talk to the camera. But I have to say I'm happy with the product that I'm ending with. And I hope you try it out because it's super good. So, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next.